Hey everyone, we're digging into some fascinating research today from Virtualization Options LLC, a tech advisory firm that helps executives get a handle on this stuff. We're going to be talking about something called ITIL. Now, forget the thick, dusty manuals. We're looking at this as a strategic playbook, a way to turn your IT department from just a cost center into a real partner that drives business value.
So, let me ask you something right off the bat. Does it ever feel like your IT team is just constantly in reactive mode? Running around putting out one fire after another? If you're nodding along, you are definitely not alone. It's one of the biggest frustrations for executives, and it's a huge sign that IT isn't being used as the strategic asset it really could be. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote from a Fortune 500 CIO just nails it. Before ITIL, we were constantly putting out fires. Now, we're strategically managing business growth. That is the exact transformation we're talking about today, moving from chaos to control.
So, first things first, let's really understand why this gap between what IT is doing and the actual value the business gets, why that gap even exists.
Well, it really boils down to three things. First, our dependency on tech is just absolute now. If IT stumbles, the whole business feels it, and fast. Second, the technology landscape is just getting more and more complex. And third, and this is the big one, IT is often stuck in its own silo, acting like a separate technical unit instead of being woven right into the company's strategy. And that disconnect, that's where all the value gets lost.
So, the million-dollar question is, how do we fix this? How do we bridge that gap? Well, that brings us to ITIL, which is the framework designed to do exactly that.
To put it simply, ITIL is a set of proven best practices. Think of it as a playbook that gives your organization a clear, structured way to manage IT services. Its entire purpose is to make sure every single thing IT does is directly tied to what the business actually needs. It basically creates a common language so IT and the rest of the business can finally be on the same page.
Okay, so how does this really work in the real world? Let's look at a couple of the core ideas in ITIL that create this kind of powerful alignment.
ITIL has a bunch of guiding principles, but for an executive, it really comes down to these three big ideas. First, everything, and I mean everything, has to connect back to business value. If it doesn't, why are you doing it? Second, you don't have to start from scratch. You start with what you already have and build from there. And third, you improve in small, manageable steps. This approach minimizes risk and it builds momentum. It's just pragmatic.
This brings us to a really critical shift in mindset that ITIL introduces. It's about moving from just treating the symptom to actually curing the disease. See, without ITIL, when something breaks, that's an incident. The goal is just to get things working again as fast as possible. It's totally reactive. But ITIL introduces problem management, and that is the cure. The goal here is to find the root cause and fix it for good. It's proactive. It's how you finally escape that constant firefighting cycle.
Now for the part everyone really wants to know about. Let's talk numbers. The real, measurable, data-driven results. First up, organizations using ITIL see, on average, a 65% faster resolution time when things do break. What does that mean for you? Less downtime, less disruption, and more productivity. Simple as that.
And second, because you're focused on finding the root cause, the cure, not just the symptom, they see 42% fewer major incidents overall. This creates a much more stable, more reliable technology environment that you can actually count on.
And finally, with fewer fires to fight and much more efficient processes, what do you think happens? Support costs drop by an average of 38%. That is real efficiency that goes straight to your bottom line.
I mean, just look at the difference here. On the left, you see the typical frequency of major incidents before ITIL. It's a state of constant disruption. And on the right, after adoption, you see stability, you see predictability. That 42% drop you're seeing represents a massive leap in operational reliability. Now, it's really important to see this as a journey. It's not an overnight fix. The first 6 months or so, there's an investment to get the foundation right. But then you start to see the returns as things get more efficient. By year 2, that value is accelerating, and by year 3, the whole conversation is changed, from just saving money to enabling real strategic business growth.
Okay, so you're seeing the value. The big question is, how do you actually make this happen without, turning the whole company upside down? The key is a smart, gradual approach.
The #1 rule here is do not attempt a big bang rollout. That approach is just a recipe for failure. Instead, you start small. You find a key pain point, something like incident management, and you score a quick win. That builds momentum and credibility. From there, you build on that success, expanding to other areas and scaling your capabilities over time.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. The next time you sit down with your IT leadership, what's the conversation really about? Is it just about keeping costs down, or is it about how you can use technology to create a real, lasting competitive advantage? ITIL is the framework that helps you shift that conversation from the first question to the second. And now you're a little more explained.